Who you got? Errol Spence, Kell Brook.
Um, who do I got?
Yeah, Errol Spence or Kell Brook.
You know the funny part about this, I've really looked at these two guys.
Go ahead, go ahead, go. Talk. I'm really interested now. Hear what you got to say.
After like looking at footage and analyzing this situation of this potential clash, because you know all I can say about Kell Brook, man, he known for pulling out.
Mm.
So maybe that's why he don't got no kids. But I was just like, I, like I said, I'll believe it when I see it. When I see the two dudes standing opposite sides of each other in the ring, then I'll believe it. But if I had to pick, I would go with Errol Spence by knockout because I
Really?
think he'll have a yeah. But I'm gonna tell you this much: I don't think Errol Spence is gonna destroy him like everybody is making it out to be. I think Kell Brook is gonna win some rounds before Errol Spence finally starts breaking him down and he stops him. It's got the fight. I'll say for the first 4 or 5 rounds, it'll be interesting. But after the after the fourth round, you'll start seeing Errol Spence impose his will, and then I think he'll just start breaking Kell Brook down because you got to. Kell Brook is known for throwing a couple of punches and then like
Hold
grabbing you. But
clinching.
I think, yeah, and clinching. But I think Errol Spence will have an answer for that. Because I think what Errol Spence is going to do, I think he's going to start working his body first before he starts going up top. I think he's going to soften up Kell Brook's body. And then I think in the later rounds, then that's when he's going to start jabbing. That's when he's going to start tagging Kell Brook. And then I think eventually Errol Spence will break him down. And I think he'll stop him around the 9th or the 10th round. But it'll be an interesting fight, and it'll be a good fight for as long as it lasts. I don't think it's going to be a one-sided fight because I know Errol Spence has a big following, and I know he's starting to get perceived as one of the most ducked fighters out there. But I do not see this being a one-sided fight. I do have I do have Errol Spence winning that fight, but I just don't see it being a blowout. I think it's going to be competitive for the first few rounds. Trust me, it will be. You're not gonna see Kell Brook just get flattened and get put on his ass like in the first couple of rounds. It's gonna be a competitive fight, and that's why I'm looking forward to it.
You know the funny thing is, I the emotions got to me in wanting this fight to happen, and now that this fight has happened, it's signed, sealed, and delivered. I've slowed down in terms of immediately picking Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm obviously my heart and soul is rooting for Errol Spence without a shadow of a doubt. Will I be rooting for Errol Spence on May 20th? But I'm just concerned about Errol Spence being down 2 rounds, 2 points, hometown judges, and not one of Eddie Hearn's fighters have lost in England. Well, with the exception of Kell Brook and Triple G. So I'm really concerned about, PBC versus Eddie Hearn because, as you know, Anthony Joshua is far better than the guys he fought. But, Eddie Hearn has made a living past couple of years destroying PBC fighters. So I'm just real skeptical about that. If it goes to the scorecards with Errol Spence not getting any knockdowns. So I think that's going to play a huge part, just as home court advantage played a huge part in Adrian Broner winning last night. You know what I mean? So I'm just real skeptical. So Errol Spence will have to be a convincing winner to come out with that IBF strap.
Well, as I said before, without a shadow of a doubt, Errol Spence needs to win that fight by knockout, and I think he'll get it. As far as fighting overseas, you do not want a fight like that to go to the judges. He needs to at least put Kell Brook on his ass maybe once or even twice, or at least have him badly shaken in that fight. Because if the rounds are close, throughout the fight, then no telling what's going to happen. Keep in mind, Kell Brook is the champion.
Mm-hmm.
He will be the champion going into that fight, and he will be on his home turf. Mm-hmm. But as I said before, I believe in the skills of Errol Spence. I think his skills and his power is just going to overwhelm Kell Brook, and Kell Brook will fall in the later rounds. Now, however, if Kell Brook doesn't get knocked out, or at least get seriously hurt in that fight, or get put on his ass, then, hey, man, you're right. All bets are off.
Mm-hmm. So we got to sit back and see. But May 20th, I mean, after Chavez Jr. and Canelo,